Onyx glasses for all those nerds out there.
But Thomas Bryant's jockstrap, get him out of here!
How does that not indicate to you, like, hey, sometimes, like, these prospects are awesome?
Donald, get back! They snatched that chain, boy. Get back! What's all gonna do about it? Popeye snatched that chain. Get back! We want that snack wrap. They got 3 flavors. Y'all got one.
Kind of tough though. I don't
Get
know.
back.
I gotta see them.
Kind of tough, though. Hey, welcome into the Big Factor, guys. It's a beautiful Veterans Day Tuesday, guys. Snow is flying, a really brutal week in Cleveland sports around here. And really glad to be in here, guys. Jack O'Rourke, Nick Padone, Rob Watson. Guys, how are we feeling today? It's absolutely freezing. The snow is flying.
Yeah, this is horrible. I mean, like,
Nick came in and we knew it was going to go down.
we're
like
not
this.
even halfway through November. Like, what are we doing? And you know you're not going to see the sun until May, late May. So you got good 6 months of this.
Is that
Buckle in.
insane though? I feel
Buckle
like
in.
it always used to snow in November. I feel like global warming's got us a little like we've been a little used to it being warm throughout the month. Like I feel like snow is normal through
No,
November
I
to
need
like
more.
February.
I need more global warming.
Yeah, it's just
Forget about my
feel like it
kids
used
or
to get cold
whatever.
in
Sorry, you guys
September.
might not know what the ocean ever is or whatever, but
Wowzers.
this is brutal.
yeah. I mean, it's when you drive in, you're like, you just wish you could turn the brightness up. It's just so dark outside. Like it's dreary. It naturally puts you in a tiny bit of a bad mood. I would say.
I know people hate Johnny Manziel, but he summarizes this perfectly. This is the gray. There's no better way of describing this. We're living in this is just the gray.
Yeah, guys. I mean, it's a tough one, too, because, it's been a brutal week in Cleveland sports, like we were saying. We got Browns, terrible loss to the Jets. Emmanuel Clase, Luis Ortiz of our Guardians, indicted. Cavs lose, kind of a stunner, kind of a heartbreaker, a little bit of just a strange game. But we're going to dive into it here. I guess we're going to start with our Browns. Nick, I mean, you lose to the Jets. The tankathon begins once more. And honestly, like,
I don't think they're tanking. I'm so done with that. I'm so done with that. I'm stomping out the word tanking because you know why?
That gives them credit to be able to
Correct.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That gives them an out. That's giving them an excuse. They had the most expensive roster in the National Football League last year. They owe Deshaun Watson his contract fully guaranteed in 2026. Juan Thornhill just got released from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
chosen one.
He counts $8 million against the Browns cap, not this year, but next year.
Really?
They're not tanking, guys. This is mismanagement. This is incoherence. This is really, really bad. And I don't really have the answers. I definitely think we'll have some answers around mid-January, but yeah, this is as bad as it gets. And I'm sick of everybody saying that this is tanking because this is not, you don't tank with the most expensive roster in football. They're this bad.
You might get a step towards answers, but the few people I've been hearing say it, like I think they're right. The answers are nowhere like close. Like this is not fixable in one off season. No matter how lucky you get, I think we could draft a quarterback that's a Pro Bowler next year. And regardless, the offensive line's still trash, so the run game's going to be inconsistent. Receivers, if you get a good quarterback, we're not going to get one of the top receivers. And we need like 3 or 4 of them. And we need a whole new O-line. And our tight ends contracts are expiring. Where are we going to find the money to pay those guys? Then all of a sudden, next thing you know, we got to start looking to pay more people on defense. Like overall, I think the problems just run really deep with this team. And we're looking at another like 3-4 year rebuild probably, if they even get it right. Because with us, that means we'll get 2 years into the 3-4 year rebuild, fire everyone, and then start over again. So we could be back in one of those eras of Cleveland football.
So Paul DePodesta did his first interview as whatever his new title is going to be with the Colorado Rockies. And he kind of weighed in on the Deshaun Watson trade. He admitted that he absolutely played a role, and that's part of it. DePodesta called such big moves as organizational. And I want to read this quote from Paul DePodesta. There are long-term contracts that don't work out, like that, DePodesta said. That doesn't mean there's not still a chance, but they didn't work out as well as anyone anticipated or the way anyone wanted it to work out on all sides. That doesn't mean there's not still a chance, huh, Paul?
Yeah, you throw the 4s up, too, because we got a really strange question in the postgame for Kevin Stefanski, too, where they were saying, do you think they'll open up the IR window for Deshaun Watson, his practice window, everything like that? But Kevin was non-committal on that as
Kevin
well.
said, I don't know if that's what we're doing.
I think
That's
he's
what
out
the
of the
plan
brain
is.
trust now. I don't think he's allowed to wait. I don't think he carries as much.
Oh,
weight.
is he
Well,
outside? Is he outside the room? Do you think?
I don't know if he's outside the room, but I think they're saying like Kevin, like just
He's certainly not being
go
consulted,
Do,
that's
go
for
do
sure.
whatever you've been doing on the field, which has been absolute garbage for the last 2 years. So I think we got some people upstairs starting to push to make some moves.
I'll be honest. There's no reason for him to do those post-game press conferences. There's no
They're
reason for
worthless.
him to do the Monday press conferences. Colossal waste of time. Like the Browns have to have 2 or 3 PR people on hand, plus a communications person on hand, in order to pull those things off. And then you get all the media members on a Zoom just for him to get up there and embarrass himself. Like, you might as well not even host them. You're genuinely better off saying nothing than going up there and just regurgitating and repeating the same nonsense that we've all heard from when last season started. Like, he offers up nothing new. He offers no insight. Go listen to a Kevin Stefanski press conference, and then go listen to Kenny Atkinson. And I know we're going to talk a little bit of Cavs because they had a meltdown in South Beach, and Darius Garland's toe is hurt again, and all this stuff. Kenny actually gives you insight as to what's happening in the game. Like, you listen to those press conferences, and you walk away understanding what transpired, good or bad. Sometimes there's bad, and he dives into that. There's no reason for Kevin Stefanski to even continue to do these. They're a waste of time. You know, he's saying he's not sure if that's what we're doing because it's a roster decision. That's usually Andrew Berry. But, oh yeah, Andrew Berry's in his hiding hole and ducking his bye-week press conference anyway. So we're never going to get any answers. These guys are smarter than everybody else. Their egos are just completely unmatched. And that is also part of the reason why this team is where they're at right now.
What do you make of the Bubba comment too? Because I think that was like of them all the most embarrassing one that came out. Just saying you still have faith in that guy.
He defended Bubba Ventrone. I mean, what are you gonna do? People want to see their pound of flesh. Like, firing the special teams coordinator really gonna do anything? Probably not. Not to mention, that's the assistant head coach. So everybody wants Kevin fired. It'd be Bubba that would probably take over as the interim head coach. So the entire thing's a mess. What's crazy about this is, like, apathy has set in for the fans. Like, it is no longer like mad or outraged. Like, I wasn't screaming and yelling on Big Play Cleveland yesterday because I don't care anymore. Like, it's almost become comical and laughable, and you've got 8 more games of this. Like, usually the comedy kicks in with around like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, week
to go.
14, yeah.
You've got 8 more regular season games to go, and nobody cares, and it's just really turned into being like a laughing joke.
Do we want? Okay, I want to test in the room. Do we want to see Deshaun play? Do we want to see it at all?
I don't think anyone wants
do
to
we-
see
do
him
we
play.
I don't want him.
Do we not need to see though? If he's healthy, do we not put him out there for a game or two to see?
I think they will,
Like,
and
we
I honestly
kind-
think you need to as well.
We kind of got to play all the QBs. I feel like as much as I'm saying Shador.
What message do you send to the city of Cleveland, Ohio, though, if you play Deshaun Watson before Shador Sanders this year?
Not playing before, obviously after. But
I don't think the message matters. The message is we're incompetent. That's the message that everybody already knows.
What if I'm just all on the fastest way to figuring out the problems is perhaps not having to pick a quarterback next year. So we kind of got to play everyone on the roster. So I would put him in the game at some point, probably, if he's healthy. Since everyone's so worried about 9 games left in Shador, there's still other quarterbacks on the team.
Well, I do
would play him
wonder,
at some point.
Rob, I wonder
What
to
if
that
he's
point.
good with a receiver? What if?
I
What if we
wonder
get
to
some
that
guys-
point if their thinking is not even if Deshaun can be good, but can Deshaun, since his contract's fully guaranteed anyway, can Deshaun and Dylan Gabriel be a bridge through this rebuild? And again, I'm not saying that they're tanking. I think that gives them an excuse. They're not tanking. But I wonder if they think, can Deshaun and Shador Sanders at least make this watchable in 2026 to get people to 2027? That probably means that you're bringing back Kevin for another season, and you got another full 17 regular season games plus 3 preseason games of we got to be better and we're going to fix this. So I don't know what you want to do, because then at that point, well, that poison balls Mason Graham, who won a national championship at Michigan. That poison balls Quinshon Judkins, who's an absolute electric factory every time time he scores a touchdown and won a national championship with the Buckeyes, and he wants to compete. That poisons Harold Fannin. So what do you want to do? Do you want to poison the young kids with the losing culture and the same old Brown stench that we're currently smelling right now? Or do you want to bridge the gap to 2027 and tank this thing out the way that fans want to do and lose games with Deshaun and lose games with Shedeur in 2026? Like, those are the two avenues to me.
What if they think Deshaun and Shedeur would look better under a different coach? What if there's a new coach that comes in and says, I'm going to put talent around these guys. I think we got enough in the quarterback room, but they just haven't been surrounded by good talent. What if someone comes in and does that? So then we run it back with the same QB room, but with actual NFL talent surrounding the players. What if that happens next year?
I'll believe it when I see it, first of all.
Yeah, because then,
You know what I mean?
if that pie in the sky scenario doesn't happen, if Deshaun Watson is still rusty and just straight up
zip on the
washed,
Yeah, he's got more zip on the balls here.
after 2 Achilles and a shoulder surgery, like that's probable. And if Shedeur just looks like a 5th-round pick, then that coach is already on the hot. So, like, that coach kind of signed up to be in a dumpster fire, which it is anyway. So
whoever you hire needs at least 2 to 3 years, unless it's
sure.
absolutely god awful.
For sure. I think that anyway, because, like, even if they move off the Deshaun thing, like, say we've seen the last of Deshaun Watson playing football in Cleveland, right? Like, the new head coach automatically still needs 2 or 3 years, because next year you're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, so
$80 million,
yeah. $80 million.
After 1
You're
year,
paying
is all
Juan
I'm saying.
Thornhill, who's currently out of the league and has been on 2 other teams since you got rid of him.
God, rent-free, too, with that
We
guy.
have to
Juan
be
Thornhill.
patient with the next guy, is all I'm saying. Even the patience might not last it. Like, there's a difference between, like, growing pains and it looking just absolutely awful, and they'll
Right.
know. But yeah, like I'm said earlier, a ways away.
Worst trade in the
Ways away.
history of professional sports. Like, this is why,
Not
like,
close.
the fallout from this is proof. Like, not just the fact that you gave up, you know, the 5-year deal that was worth the $230 million fully guaranteed and the 3 first-round picks and the controversy and the bad publicity that followed, but the fallout. The fallout is really what is going to make this the worst trade, not just in football history, but in the history of baseball, the history of basketball. You could probably throw in hockey. They don't.
How
they don't
far
make
back do
trades
you-
in tennis? But
Like,
if they did,
legitimately,
this would be up there.
Yeah. And if you trade your doubles partner, yeah. If you, like, legitimately, how many years back will this set the Cleveland Browns? If you look at, what was it, 2022 when we traded for him?
I
Like,
mean,
when
not
is the
even
next time you
tangible.
hit it?
It's not tangible.
It's gonna be 10 years, right?
Yeah, it's not tangible. It completely. It's like it marks the end of an era. Like, obviously the post-expansion Browns are what they are, 1999 on. You could kind of lump a lot of those years in the 2000s and even in the 2010s together. Then you had the Sashi Brown era where it was a strategic tank. Like, that was a tank. They had a plan. They became the cheapest roster in the league and the
Yeah, they were
youngest
Jonathan
roster in the
Batamosi
league.
out there. They were
and
trying
they
to
wanted
win.
draft picks and they wanted cap space, and they got it. So there was that era, and then there was the Baker Mayfield era where it seemed like that was your first real glimpse at hope, and it seemed like that was your first real glimpse at culture. Like, 2018 on is kind of like this current era of Browns football, and this is kind of like the demarcation of the end of it, I'm thinking, but I think the end of it is just going to be a black abyss that we're currently living in now. Like, they've won 5 football games over the last 2 years. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, 5-21 through the last 2 years basically, but
23 if you go back to the 2-10 the year before.
Jeez. So the thing too is, we'll get into this after the break, but Jimmy Haslam, we talked about on Honor the Land, right? So he talked about how 3-14 is not going to be good enough this year. Him and D. Haslam came out before. They were standing in Berea. I don't remember if you were over there, Nick, but we saw the video coming out preseason where 3-14 would not be good enough. Max Loeb on Honor the Land, he said, well, can 2-15 be good enough? Because that's where it kind of seems like we're headed right now. Guys, we'll get into that after the break. First, I got to tell you about our friends at Garage Beer, because honestly, that might be the only thing that's getting us through right now is those Garage Beers that we love. Our friends over at Garage Beer, they got those 2 flavors, Classic Light Lager and Lime, and there's no frills, no bitterness, just that classic taste from that Garage Beer. So pick up some Garage Beer at retailers near you at visitgaragebeer.com. That's visitgaragebeer.com. Guys, we'll talk about how Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, they should be on the hot seat, but it doesn't really feel like they are. Coming up next on The Big Factor. Welcome back in the Big Factor, everybody. It's a really down Tuesday for the fellas. The weather's brutal. The Cleveland sports has been absolutely even more brutal, if that you can even say that, guys. But we talked about the Browns-Jets loss a lot yesterday. We talked about it's 27-20. They lost to the hapless New York Jets. We've seen coaches get fired. Yesterday, Brian Daboll got fired for the New York Giants. I'm surprised Aaron Glenn hasn't been fired yet, but coming off of a win, you're not going to fire him like that. Guys, we'll start here. I mentioned it in the last segment that Jimmy Haslam in the offseason said that 3-14 wouldn't be good enough for the Cleveland Browns. Do you think we're headed that way? And do you think Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski will be fired if that is the result? Jack, where are you going to start?
I don't know, man. I honestly, because I've thought for so long, dude. Like it feels like after every loss, you're getting closer and closer. I still don't believe they're going to come back next year. I honestly thought it was going to happen yesterday. There was no reports coming out indicating that or anything. And I know like Nick's made the great point on the show a couple times now. Like, who are you going to put in mid-year? Like, it's not going to magically get better. You're going to confuse the young guys even more. Like, you got to have some form of consistency throughout these guys' rookie years. But man, it's got to be coming close. And no, I don't think you can bring them back next year. I think you're probably going 3-4 wins again. I don't see a ton more left on the schedule. I think you look at that Titans game, probably is a good chance to get a dub. But I think they clean house. I think they're both gone. I think AB's gone too. I really do.
Man, that game coming up against the Raiders, too, you could really easily lose that one to a really pitiful Raiders team as well. Nick, do you think they're still tied at the hip? I mean, I think Kevin Stefanski has to go.
I don't know that they're tied at the hip, to be honest. I definitely think that there's a world where it could be one and not the other. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I really can't see still, even as bad as this is. And like, this is as bad as it's been. Like, this is Hugh Jackson level bad. I don't think it happens in season. I don't know why. I just can't shake that feeling that they're going to let this thing play. They're going to play out the string. I will say though, listening to Kevin Stefanski's presser on Monday, and to just hear him, like, he's never, even when he took the job in 2020, he's never given the media anything, but to be as laughably bad and deflating as Monday was, like he sounded like a guy that knew his fate is really what it felt like to me. So I think it probably happens the second week of January, when that regular season game ends. They'll take the evening to think about it, and then it'll come down on Monday. Because 2 wins is unacceptable, 3 wins unacceptable. I throw in there 4 or 5 wins are unacceptable. I would have fired Kevin Stefanski after last season, and I really think starting with a complete fresh slate, I'm going to continue to repeat myself on this, like sounding like a broken record, because I know there are people that think that now DePodesta's gone, you could almost promote Andrew Berry into that chief strategy officer role where he could continue to make smart trades and manipulate the cap and all of this stuff. I'm not really with that. I think it makes sense to bring in a new GM, a new head coach, and a new quarterback next season all at once. Like, because if you try to force a marriage, or if you try to stagger it, like, somebody's always going to be behind the 8 ball. Somebody's always going to be grandfathered in, or somebody's always going to be got there too far behind. Like, I would just do all 3 key pieces of the organization at once: coach, quarterback, and GM.
Yeah, Rob, it felt like the Giants just did that yesterday, to be honest with you, with Brian Daboll, because they kept GM Joe Shane, right, who kind of played scapegoat for Brian Daboll, where he was saying, like, you reached out, we're going to trust you. I don't know if you saw the Hard Knocks where he's like, okay, well, we're going to reach for him. We're going to trust you on this. But you can kind of tell in the back of his mind, he's framing it where, like, if this doesn't pan out, it was your guy. It's not my fault. I'm not going to have this pinned to me. That would be what it feels like next year if the Browns do this. If they do fire Kevin Stefanski but keep Andrew Berry, to me. Do you see any parallels there, Rob?
Fire everybody.
Yeah.
Simple,
I'm with
everybody. And if they bring people, like, if Kevin Stefanski is somehow the head coach next year, like, no one in Cleveland is going to be happy. It'll be very, like, me and Jack spent most of the offseason this year being very doom and gloom. Like, it was always us arguing with Ryan, saying, like, this team is.
I said 3 wins from the jump, baby.
Ryan was on that. Like, Ryan had some days where he was upset in here, telling us this was a 7-8 win team, like, fighting tooth and nail with the boys. Like, that was something that we really got through this offseason. And it's come to fruition. You can't buy what they say. You talk yourself up. They believe on that. They sell you on that. I'm telling you, if they keep these people in charge, even the most optimistic fans like Ryan will not be able to sell themselves, no matter who they draft next year, no matter what they do, that this is a good football team or that they will succeed in anything. You have to clean house. Got to cut the head of the snake. Got to let the rest of it die. Got to move on.
There's always hope as long as there is delusion. You ever seen that meme?
There will be no more delusion.
There will be
No.
no more delusion.
Telling
That's
you,
for sure.
like, it's gonna start getting.
That's the thing.
And
too.
that's what's so sad too about the whole entire thing is like look at like how loyal Cleveland Browns fans are and like the way they've come out in droves every single year since 1999. Like you're right, it would be a record low next year. Like it'd be a low off season in terms of people like caring and engaging with the Cleveland Browns in general. Like that shows you how bad this truly is. That people flock every single year for a team that consistently won somewhere from like 4 to 7 games for basically my whole entire childhood, and no one ever stopped going. Like to get people to actually stop, you have to really F up pretty bad.
And people were close. Like they didn't sell out. They didn't sell out the opener. They didn't sell out the
that's
opener.
really hard to do.
5 of the last 8 games are at home. That stadium's gonna be empty. A lot of orange
even
seats.
like, do you remember the Cowboys game? Like even before the Cowboys game last year, like I had a little bit of excitement. Like okay, like maybe if this comes out, things look right.
We
were
had
hyped,
expectations.
Yeah, no, like they're.
yeah, most expensive
fever,
roster
yeah.
in the sport.
yeah.
Nah, the stadium will be empty. Me and my dad, like I've said multiple times on the show, season ticket holders not going to a game unless they make a quarterback change. And if we go there and then it doesn't pan out with the next guy, like that'll be the last game of the year. But
Yeah.
until they make a switch, like nobody. Like the only people that are gonna go to the game to watch Dylan Gabriel play and
His family.
as bad as it is for him are gonna be people that want to boo him and are gonna go there
Yeah.
and like it's
Yeah,
just, as soon as the
100%.
thing goes wrong, like it's
Yeah.
it's gonna
How-
it's gonna almost be like an away game for
Yeah,
him.
Yeah,
pretty
the
much.
people
The
that
boomers will be
it's
out
the people that
immediately.
want to wear the
Yeah,
paper
yeah.
bag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they want to be in the plain dealer. Get the shot on the front page.
The punishment thing.
How sobering for you guys after everything you heard about Dylan Gabriel in the offseason, like how we almost were forced to play him up as like a top pick.
Never,
We talked about it
ever.
on the show
You can
or
stop right
before
there.
the show yesterday. His
I
stats next to Cody Kessler.
I never
How
bought it.
sobering was that?
No, there was no, because I was never high on that. I was never drunk on that. Like we were all sitting there when they picked him. We all said, "What you know?"
We all walked out.
What is
Then,
this?
yeah, we all walked out. Yeah, we
And then-
drove him
and
an
then
hour in the
all
rain
off
listening to
season,
Stan.
We never saw a good clip of him making throws in practice. I was only seeing interceptions, bad reads,
Remember
not
when
being able to see anything. Carson Schlesinger getting highlight reels off this guy. Corners doing this after throws to the back corner of the end zone. Everyone knew he
their
wasn't
own
it.
team.
Do you
Everyone knew
remember-
he wasn't it. I'm sitting here, he's so smart. He can process. He's Kevin's guy. I never for 1 second was like, this kid's got it.
Do you remember when Daryl?
No,
do you-
everyone. Colt McCoy.
do you remember when
at
Daryl
best,
was like-
best case scenario, Kellen Moore. No one ever bought it. So there's no sobering. He was just never good. Everyone knew he wasn't good. It was never a surprise. And anyone in the organization, like you should know, anyone who was trying to sell you that Dylan Gabriel was going to be a good quarterback is a shill for the Browns. You shouldn't take anything they say seriously, just like most of the organization. Anyone that's been selling you on that for the last 4, 5, 6 months, their opinion's worthless. They're just telling you what the team wants you to hear. It's that simple.
I was gonna say, do you ever when Daryl just like repeatedly called out how bad Dylan Gabriel was all of training camp? Like doesn't
were
look like an
probably
NFL
getting
quarterback,
on him
can't
about
throw.
that, bro.
No, and then
Like-
Dylan Gabriel has that one like good half of the preseason, and the whole entire internet's like, "Ooh, how now, Brown Cow? Like what's going on? This guy's pretty good." And then
Versus
Daryl's
the
like, "Wait,
Rams
just watch, he
practice
sucks."
squad
And
with
then
our
boom,
starters.
Yeah,
That's what they were talking about. And then they put
He
Shador
sucks
out
again.
there with tax writers, bro.
Yeah, the
People who are
Mo
selling
Union.
insurance now. And then everyone completely ignored Dylan
God,
throwing
bro.
garbage picks in preseason after Shador had a good game versus the Panthers with the 3s. Dylan goes out there with the 1s 2 games
Against
in a
the
row
4s.
versus practice squad players. Like you said, the Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets defense was out there against Dylan. It's nasty work, man. But they've done everything they can do.
Do you remember when we had a
you can put
terrible
them in the-
receiver room? And we were like, "Hey, let's sign Deontay
No,
Johnson."
Dylan Gabriel's like the boxer that they hype up. They give him straight cupcake opponents. They put him in the best. He's ducking fights, but eventually he becomes the champ, and he's gotta fight. It's the undisputed championship match. He's gotta fight the other undefeated guy, and that's what this whole regular season's been. It's been him getting exposed
Because he
in the
hasn't thrown
big
a punch.
fight.
It's round 4. He hasn't
Exposed.
thrown.
Exposed. man.
Dodging the whole
It's
time.
nasty, bro.
Yeah, guys, this feels like rock bottom for pretty much my lifetime because a lot of people would say 2016, the parade that McNeil put on and everything like that. But we knew those teams were lacking of talent. And the thing that I can't get out of my brain is the PSL license, the personal seat licenses, the season tickets that Jimmy Haslam and their infinite wisdom were putting out during the bye week. Tickets costing like upwards of $50,000 just for like the 1 seat, damn near. It's just so crazy to me because it's so tone deaf as well, guys. Do you think this is rock bottom for the Cleveland Browns?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think you're looking at a move that most people didn't want the Browns out of downtown Cleveland. So I think there's some upset with the Dome in the first place. And then, yeah, like you can't put a 5-25 product on a field and be like, hey, we haven't changed anything yet, but got a new stadium coming. How about you pony over $100,000? You can't do that.
I'll
like,
say why this is the lowest we've been. And it's this simple, because before the team growing up, I probably started paying attention about 2005, 6, something like that. All the way up until about 2018 when we drafted Baker, there was never an expectation. Like, we never had a high. So it was constant mid and garbage. So every year when it continued to be mid and garbage, yes, it was pitiful, and yes, it bottomed all the way out, but it was always, what could I really expect? Like, Browns is the Browns. That was really what it was. But then for a moment, for about 4 years, we actually saw real NFL talent. We got a couple highs. We went to the playoffs twice. First 2 times anyone's seen it in years, since like 2000 or whatever it was when they went. You have a high to then shoot back to depths as seriously low, and that they're comparing you to a team that went 1-31 over 2 years, that this team is actually looking worse in certain capabilities, especially on offense. To go from that high then to this low is why everyone feels how they do about it, because you actually had a fall. Before, it was just the status quo to be bad. Now we had to take a break from being good to average to being awful. So that's why it's the lowest we've been.
Yeah, it's so
or at least
brutal.
the lowest I've been in my whole time as a Cleveland.
I'll make this in there as well. I think there's a piece of it for like the Ryans of the world that thought that they were going to be good this year, because there's still talent on the roster. Like those mid 2000 times, there was no Myles Garrett, there was no Denzel Ward, there was no Grant Delpit, David Njoku. Like we had like Joe Thomas was good, Cribbs was good, Joe Hayden was good, Phil Dawson was good, but he's a kicker. All those teams, like those were the only players. Like, this team has some guys at impact positions that are pretty good. So the fact that their careers are effectively being wasted, like Cribbs' career was wasted, like Joe Thomas's career was wasted, it adds insult to injury, because it's like this team actually has some dudes that would be contributors elsewhere, and it's frustrating that they're not able to win with these guys on the roster.
I mean, you think about John Dorsey hit 3 top 5 picks in a row.
Here's why I don't buy the offseason hype, though, because we had no idea what any of those rookies were going to be before the season started. We realistically,
or the quarterbacks.
Realistically, we had 2 impact guys, just like we've had a lot of times before, like when we had Joe Thomas and a Joe Hayden. We had 2 good players. They both happened to play defense. 2 guys who we knew were going to be solid coming into the year. Granted, the defenses look great. We've made trades. Schlesinger's a beast. Judkins has turned out to be really good. But to everything else was a question mark besides about like 4 players. And Jerry Jeudy, who we thought wasn't a question mark, has not been having a good year.
That couldn't have gone worse.
So, and then Harold Fannon's turned into a good player. But to not know anything in the quarterback room and to not know anything that these rookies could provide, I don't see how anyone seriously got their hopes up that this would have been a 7-8 win borderline playoff team.
Yeah, guys, there's a team. There's a team in the Gateway here in Cleveland who hasn't really been at rock bottom, but they had a lot of news come out the last couple of days with Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. We're going to dive into our Guardians when we come back. All right, welcome back into the Big Factor, everybody. A solemn clap on this Tuesday, Veterans Day Tuesday, guys. We pretty much buried the Browns as best as we could, but there's some news coming out with our Guardians, Jack, that Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase, they have been indicted by federal prosecutors for money. The feds are doing a sweep. So the 2 pitchers for the Cleveland Guardians, the right-handers, they are under investigation. They've been basically charged with money laundering and wire fraud as well for placing throwing pitches that were not that were intentional balls, so that bettors could basically put all the sort of money on it, on the velocity and the pitch result and everything like that. But we talked about it a little bit yesterday, Jack. This news, I think they're never coming back to baseball again, but
that's a safe
say
wager
so.
at this point in time. You know, I told myself I wasn't going to get upset about this again today, and I have not gotten to hear my good friend Nick Padone's opinion yet of what went down. So I want to hear what Nick has to say.
I'm gonna be honest,
maybe he'll trigger Smink.
No, because I'm going to be honest. Like, I don't have a very strong opinion here. Like, this falls completely in line with what I thought was going to happen. Like when that report dropped back over the summer. Like this is playing out exactly how I thought it would. Like when something like this percolates and comes to the surface, like they've got you. You know, they've got,
it's hard to get out of.
Everything that they need. And it's really sad. Is probably my only thing. Is that like, the Guardians are such a good organization. They do everything the right way that, like, for this to happen to them feels kind of bad, especially because, like, their pitching is kind of the DNA of the organization. So for it to be Luis Ortiz, who was like a promising arm that just got into the system, and then Emmanuel Clase, who could have gone down as one of the best relief pitchers ever, truly. Not just like of this generation, but truly ever. Like it does hurt a little bit more because it's here, certainly. But like as far as like the situation as a whole, like, I'm not really mad at it at all, because like the minute that news dropped, like it was just fait accompli in my mind that they're done. They're never going to pitch in Major League Baseball again. So I see the outrage. Like, I saw your rant yesterday. I just don't feel that passionately about it anymore, because like it's months removed. Like this is the process is going to play itself out like this now.
And the thing too, Rob, is that like they said that this went back all the way into 2023. That's when Emmanuel Clase first started it. That's kind of shocking to me. Like, I don't think this changes, anything for me for the 2024 playoff run, anything like that in the ALCS. If more information comes out where, Clase was...
I would be so mad. If that came out, I don't think he did. I'd be so mad.
I don't think he was either, but he got absolutely shelled and was posting his friggin', awards and everything like that on his Instagram story. But it just goes to show, like, it doesn't really change anything for me as well. I would agree, Nick, because the 2024 ALCS run was still just as magical when the first pitch of the 9th inning was a ball. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really change that much. It's super disappointing to me. I don't know if you guys would agree, but like, I'm more disappointed for the future. Obviously, it doesn't affect anything that, in my opinion, 2024, it doesn't really change anything.
Because I lost my biggest trade chip, man.
Literally.
That's what hurts the most.
Had they just cleared them, and I get that, like, man, there's mountains of evidence that that's just never gonna happen.
And they had trades in place,
right?
That's
like
the thing.
they could have just jettisoned him from the organization. This would have been not our clown, not our circus, and we could have been getting excited watching whatever poo-poo platter we would have gotten in some prospects that would be, in Akron right now.
Tyler Freeman, come back down.
Yeah.
No, that's what, literally, like, look at what the A's got for Mason Miller, or what they gave up, rather, Leonardo DeVries. Like, we would have gotten Leonardo DeVries, who is Francisco Lindor, but 10 years younger. Like, that's what the return would have been if Clase ultimately gets dealt at the deadline. But spin zone on this, guys. Is it Luis Ortiz's fault? Because you think about it, Clase did it for 2 years.
That's the guy that got him, bro. He was too bad.
The guy had a 0.61 ERA. No one... He pushed $400,000 through the system already. Like, no one stopped him. He's a great pitcher. No one's really flagging that guy. Ortiz comes in. He throws one like 45 feet short of the plate. Gets him 5 runs. Boom, the system's over.
Or is it Andy Pajes' fault for swinging to that pitch that was 54 feet,
that
6
was
feet in
bad
front of
too.
home plate?
No, I'm Team Pajes on this. I saw a social media post of him. He's at Target wearing like UGG slides, and I'm a big fan of the UGG slides.
You got him on now, don't you?
Yeah, I do have him on right now, and he's checking out with like a bunch of snacks and a box of NBA like Panini basketball cards.
That's awesome.
And he's like just standing there posing with a photo of the fan with like all of his snacks and his basketball cards on the checkout counter. I'm like, I love this guy. This guy actually rocks. He did nothing wrong. What's weird about this too? And like, not to get conspiracy tinfoil, but I guess
we already opened the bridge.
Oh, I got plenty of
Luis Ortiz's teammate in San Diego, prior to him ever even going to Pittsburgh, got popped for this exact same thing. It's like almost the exact same thing, and he went down. So I wonder if like he had maybe got wind of like that this was a way that he could make an extra bit of cash, and then when Clase signed him up on the program, like he was all seeing ahead. But like, Luis Ortiz was in San Diego when the Padres had their gambling scandal, and that was the first one that ever hit professional sports. That was like pre-Jonte Porter.
What was it? Is it
about
Tumani?
that.
Something like that? I forget the name of the.
It was a really
Was it the Pirate? I think it
random-
was when he was in Pittsburgh. Or was it San Diego?
Former San Diego, yeah.
Oh, it wasn't San Diego. Oh, geez.
No, he was with Pittsburgh. But
It was Pittsburgh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Padres. It's
So they were in the building together.
Marcano, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so
I don't
that's
know,
the
man.
other thing too is like we go back to this trade situation with Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz. Like, does it not feel strange that they didn't do this during the season when Shohei Ohtani's gambling thing went down during the season and they cleared it within basically 3 days? I know Ohtani was, found to be innocent of that type of stuff, but we talked about this with Bruce Drennan a couple weeks back. It's kind of funny how that was open and closed in basically like 72 hours. But then this has been going since May, June of 2025. The trade deadline came and went. You couldn't do anything about it. Does it feel weird, the timing of that for MLB baseball?
No, because
You don't think so?
No, because the Feds
They did it really quickly
The
with that
Feds,
Pirates guy.
yeah, but the league did, but the Feds did not.
That's more so what I
the
mean.
Feds got the interpreter. The Feds literally found that he stole money. Shohei didn't know anything. It was genuine theft.
Allegedly.
So if the Feds didn't know, what was the league supposed to do? Of course, right? Oh, that's alleged. You got to just go in line with what they're saying. But like, if the federal government is telling you that he didn't do anything, like, what was the league supposed to do?
Let me chill before they send that.
I also, building off of that too, is like especially because we still don't have anything finalized with Clase and Ortiz yet. Like, I do still think there's a world where they were heavily swayed into doing what they did. I think that's still possible that could come out. And I think when you have outside external forces playing in on something, like, I think that's why it takes longer to figure out and sort through. That's why no one's in handcuffs yet or anything like that. Like, whereas, like you said, like the interpreter, like, it seemed pretty cut and dry, at least, that he was the one who stole the money. And
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they were saying that Shohei was on the mound as Ippei was transferring money, that type of stuff. So like, it's pretty ironclad in that way.
Clase was on the mound, so
Yeah. So that's the other thing too. is, like,
the phone calling thing is what really gets to me,
because
man.
the other part too is Jack.
idiot though, bro.
Yeah.
Who does it on the phone in
Yeah.
the dugout? And
Yeah.
how was
Yeah, how do you not think you're
Because
gonna get caught?
the thing too is he's calling somebody within the ballpark too. There was somebody
Nasty
At the
in
stadium.
attendance at the ballpark.
Yeah, bro. Like,
So
couple SIM swaps in
I
there.
mean-
It's over for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one cell tower away from 65 years in prison.
Yeah,
you gotta be a lot more careful.
guys,
At least by a burner.
it's unbelievable stuff. We wait to see more information going for Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, but our Cleveland Cavaliers a lot more successful over the past couple seasons, but they did not get it done in Miami last night. They had a really kind of a rough ending. Rob, we'll go into that as we come back here on The Big Factor. Hey, everybody, welcome back into The Big Factor, guys. We're closing in on the end of the show here, but we got to get to our Cavs. Guys, they fell in overtime last night to the Miami Heat. They've got 2 games. They'll be playing again in South Beach tomorrow. That is Wednesday. But they lost that first game. Kenny Atkinson ejected. There was a 17-2 run to finish the first half for the Miami Heat. And then in overtime, the Heat get a buzzer beater, Rob, on a play that you think should have been well defended. My question for you, Rob, is where was Jarrett Allen on this last play?
Okay.
Loaded question, huh?
Loaded question. He could have been in the game. He hasn't been playing a lot in the fourth quarter, like, at all. So
Right.
that's been interesting to see this year. I'd like to see, like, the average. So I feel like he plays no more than, like, 4 minutes tops lately in the fourth quarter.
0.4 of a second where you need to defend the rim.
Overall,
Where's our boy at?
Overall, I would have had one of them in the game. Mobley was in the game. I don't know why he wasn't guarding it.
Exactly.
Don't know why Jalen Tyson was on the bench and Sam Merrill was in the game. So I would have went Mobley, Tyson, Hunter, Mitchell, and Wade. I think they had 4 of those people on the court. I don't I was breaking it down with Jack. It looked like the coach didn't tell them to switch the screen. So that leaves you susceptible to if you get over and you get nicked by the screen, guys got a free run to the hoop. Now, still, Sam Merrill probably should have been a couple steps off to help off the screen since the guy did get nicked. You want to be there to offer help, but he steps up. He's scared Mitchell's going to get a little quick shot off at the buzzer. Overall, just a poorly executed defensive play by us overall. Donovan Mitchell is 6'1", and he's guarding the ball. I get he could jump. He's got long arms, but could have had better guys on there. Frustrating way to end the night where they almost kind of pulled off a miraculous win. I thought if it did go to double OT, they were going to get it done. I love Kenny getting thrown out of the game. I love when coaches show emotion. Yeah. Something
and Kenny's
you
been
don't
good
see
with that
with
too.
our Browns teams.
Yeah.
But
Kenny's been good with that too.
As a basketball player, that's always one thing that you always love to see when coaches would fight for calls, when they're on the refs, when you're getting hosed, they're fighting for you guys. Something you love to see. So I love that from Kenny. But overall, if Johnny was in the assistant and he drew up that out-of-bounds defense, probably need to work on that a little bit in practice or get in the film room with Kenny.
Yeah, Nick, the big storyline was that Darius Garland may have re-injured that toe that he was rehabbing all offseason, the one that he injured against the Pacers. Well, most notably against the Pacers in the playoffs last year. But does this ring any concern bells for you right now?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's going to undergo more testing today on Tuesday, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Like, things have looked so much better for the Cavs because of DG. Like, when DG came back, like,
Very
the season
deflated.
completely, like, almost instantaneously turned around. They look like the Cavs again. And then without him, it was a rocky start to the season. So hopefully Darius is fine. We'll have to see what happened. I hate that it's that same toe in Miami again. That's
Same
just
court,
like,
right?
a bad omen. Bad omen all
You
around.
just got to start sitting him on those trips to South Beach. Oh, my friend just tested the exact thing. Jared Allen played 1 minute and 44 seconds of game clock in the fourth quarter last night. He's averaging just 3.9 fourth quarter minutes a game, which is 14th out of the 15 players on our roster.
Yeah.
Which is super
That is
low.
wild.
Super low for
He had a really
nine
good first half last night, too.
That's
Tells
fine,
you
but
what they think
it's-
about him.
That's the thing, is the core four, is it really a core four anymore?
No,
It cannot be.
not.
It's just not.
I mean,
It
Danny
was-
Cunningham said
it
it
was
on
never a
Fontana
core
show.
four.
It's never been a core four. That's always been a marketing label. Like, they've got 4 really good players, 2 bona fide superstars, and Jared Allen, who's a nice complimentary piece.
And it's a matchup thing. The way they like to play, they're running like Andrew Wiggins at the 4. They run 3 guards, and they mix in Jaquez, who's having a good night last night. You're going to need to go small sometimes, and in those cases, Evan's our guy. He's supposed to be our superstar. You're going to bump him to the 5. You're going to slide Hunter down, throw Tyson out there, and it's still a great lineup. But, that's just Jared. You can be played off the floor in basketball when you're a little bit limited like Jared is. And when Darius Garland is hurt, we were talking all season how he had a really slow start. Darius goes out tonight, so then you see a drop-off in minutes for Jared. That's how it works sometimes.
Yeah, the trade deadline is not that far away, so I would keep my eyes on that one, to be honest with you guys. But we got one more segment. Jack, if we got a little bit of time, we're gonna hit this Brian Kelly thing. I gotta get your take on this Brian Kelly LSU stuff, and then our parlay of the day, and then we're out of here. Hey, welcome back into the Big Factor, everybody. We got one last segment here, guys. Jack, your boy, Brian Kelly, he was in the news again because LSU is trying to basically fire him for cause so that they can get out of paying that $50 million buyout. What are your thoughts here, Jack?
Yeah, it's just the biggest weasel of all time, continuing to weasel his way through life. Like most coaches, you probably accept a buyout about half of what you were originally supposed to be paid. You can go on, continue your life, go coach another program. Brian Kelly now suing for wrongful termination. Guys, I saw nothing wrong that happened on the field at Tiger Stadium when Texas A&M walked in and dropped 28 unanswered in the second half. How can you?
His arch nemesis.
Walk in your trap, though.
Despises
Take over
this
your
guy.
trap.
No, I do, but I don't understand. What is it going to mean for the future of college football? That's one thing we talked about earlier, Pat, before the show started. You can't just come in and do this now and walk in. What is James Franklin going to walk in now and go? Oh, what'd you fire me for? I'm very curious how this plays out in court, though. This is going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one too. We'll get into that further. Honestly, tune into the Bobby Carpenter show because I'm interested to hear what those guys have to say about it as well. But guys, it's time for our parlay of the day. Nick, if you want to tell us about our friends over at FanDuel.
NBA tip-off week, FanDuel is your home for live betting. So if you missed the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. You must be 21 plus, present in select states, first online real money wager only, $5 first deposit is required. Bonuses are issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, Jack, take us away on this parlay.
All right, let's do it. Do we have the layup?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do it, baby. Woo, we're coming at a lot of college basketball today and a little bit of action for our guy Nick. Battle the wagon wheel, you said, correct?
Wagon wheel.
Wagon wheel tonight. Kent State looking to get back on the right side of that. We're taking Kent State money line, popping in plus 182. I love that, especially on the road. Quick drip down to Akron. Then we're going Dayton plus 6.5 against Cincy tonight. The A10 Darlings, the Flyers, to keep this one tight. Then we're going Temple money line. They got LaSalle coming into Philly. That's always a tough battle, but hey, we're behind the Owls. And last but not least, the Iona Gales heading into UMBC. I think UMBC had an upset win earlier this year. I forget who was over, but the Golden Retrievers started hot. Hey, it doesn't matter. The Gales are coming into town down to Baltimore. They'll take this one by 4.5. Once again, Dayton plus 6.5, Kent State money line in football, Temple money line in basketball, and Iona minus 4.5.
All right, guys. It was another good show. We'll get out of here on that one, but hopefully that parlay hits for us, guys. More Browns, more guards, more Cavs, more everything coming up later in the week.